I'm writing a book about taking care of my mom as she died, and something that I will talk about toward the end of the book is how how relationships change as the end comes nearer, and how it feels like at some point the presence in the relationship and the enjoyment of the relationship for itself shifts over to an anticipatory grieving as you count down the moments to when it's over. So you're not still fully present. I mean, you are present because what's happening is that loss, but there's a shift. And I've seen this not just with my mom, but I've seen this many, many times. You have this wonderful dog or cat companion whom you've known for many, many years. And then at some point it it enters a death watch. And there's a fundamental change. And it happens also on much smaller scales too. If you're in a long distance relationship and say your beloved comes to visit you on Friday and then it's going to leave Monday. So Friday you have a great time, and Saturday you have a great time, and Saturday night you have a great time, and Sunday morning you have a great time, and sometimes Sunday afternoon or evening it starts to there's something shifts, and you or I no longer am just fully enjoying it all, but instead I'm counting down the minutes till we're apart. And it's even on a smaller scale. I remember first noticing this when I was a kid going on amusement park rides. So you go on an amusement park ride and you're really enjoying the ride until like the last corner for the roller coaster. And at the last corner, it's like, oh, shoot, the ride's over. It's not really over yet, but there's this withdrawal that starts to happen. And I know in my 20s that I tried to be Mr. Super enlightened about it. And there's something in the Bible about where before Jesus is killed, the disciples are all grieving, and he's like, "I'm still here. You don't need to grieve yet." Basically, if I recall it right. So why would you grieve now? I'm here. Grieve when I'm gone. And I took on that smug superior attitude about these sorts of things in my 20s. And then I recognized later that in my own case, I can't speak for Jesus or the authors of the Bible, but in my own case, it was merely an attempt to avoid feeling sorrow. And I was avoiding the pain by saying, oh, no, I'm not unhappy that you're leaving tomorrow. I'm enjoying every minute to the last minute. But of course, I was lying to myself and I was doing the anticipatory grieving, just couldn't acknowledge it. And, I used to, up until up until 10 minutes ago, I always used to say, I used to put this differently than I do now. That up until 10 minutes ago, I would say, at what point does the relationship end and the grieving begin? And as we were, as my friend who produces these and I were discussing this topic beforehand, she said, well, it's both, that you're both grieving and still in the relationship. And I think that's true. I think that's a much better way to look at it than that the relationship is over. But that doesn't alter the fact that at some point, the relationship does shift to being a death watch. And I don't have any real larger points to make on this. Just it's an articulation of something that I have felt. And as I'm saying this, I'm looking at my big rescue Anatolian shepherd who is, I don't know how old he is. He was probably 9 when I got him, so he's 12 or 13 now, and he sleeps more and more, and his health is still good, but I've already, in some ways, started that anticipatory grieving because will I have him? Will he be here next spring? I don't know. Is this his last spring? I don't know. And of course, all of this is true on the largest scale possible too. If you're even remotely aware right now, or even if you're not, your body still will be. We we're feeling anticipatory grief over the destruction of the biosphere, and it is this strange combination. I feel every day when I go outside that life and forests and insects and slugs and vultures and ravens and bears and dandelions are all so unutterably beautiful, and at the same time that I every day fall in love with all of these neighbors, I still feel grief over what is happening to them and to and the diminishment that is being pushed upon them every day.